Me, Grimlock, love reviews. Me, Grimlock, love parks. Me, Grimlock, love leaves. Yes. Me, Grimlock, love John Doe 4880's reviews. Yes. Hello everyone, I am John Doe 4880, and I'm here to talk about and review Fall of Cybertron Grimlock. War of Cybertron was a video game, but Fall of Cybertron was actually the sequel. So he was actually in the sequel of the War for Cybertron video game. Let's get into some more history about him. He's not your average Grimlock. He doesn't talk very much me Grimlock. He talks pretty much basically simple-minded, though, still a little bit, and everything. What happened was he wasn't created on Earth. He was actually a part of a strike force, almost like the Wreckers in Transformers, but they called themselves, him and his group called themselves the Lightning Strike Coalition. And pretty much basically what it was is they're like Black Ops team. Well, they kind of got captured by Shockwave. Shockwave found this planet that had interesting creatures in it, and it turned out to be it was Earth and the time of the dinosaurs. And Shockwave did some experiments on him and his other fellow unit, which was Slag, Sludge, Snarl, and Swoop. Sludge, though, he's the Brontosaurus. He got totally killed in the game. And they ripped out his power pack or whatever, and they used it for something else. They used his body to power like a station or something. But they did weird experiments on Grimlock here, and Grimlock ended up having a rage. And that's how he ended up having a dino mode. And they weren't sure about it, about what's going on. But whenever he gets angry and mad, he transforms into his dino mode. And so they later called themselves Dinobots now. And I don't know if they ever actually made a other Dinobots from Fall of Cybertron video game. But I've never really played the video game, but I know a little bit about Grimlock. He was also voiced by Greg Berger, who also voiced him in G1. Did an amazing job. And everything. So let's talk about the accessories. This Grimlock did not have a gun. Basically, he was slashing with a sword that looks like this. He was slashing the bad guys with a sword like this. Now, this is an awesome sword. Look at that. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome sword. Now, he also had a shield, which is also awesome too. Now, he can actually, in Dino mode, he can actually take the shield and put the shield right here on him. It just pegs, as you can see, it just pegs like that. And you can have the shield like that. And the same thing with his that happens on both pretty much basically both of his, you know, legs and body and everything. You could take the sword, and you can also put it like that, too. When you can. There you go. And, so, pretty much, basically, you can do both. You can both basically do that. And, so in Dino mode, we're going to keep him in Dino mode for now, and then I'm going to show you Dino mode. Okay, which is pretty cool. Let's take these off of him, as you know, but these are pretty cool. I wish, though, the one thing I wish he did have, he didn't have one in the video game, but if they would have done a traditional Grimlock, which I know in the video game he wasn't a traditional Grimlock, he was a different, kind of like a different Grimlock altogether, and I did love this Grimlock. I did love this Grimlock, and I did love the G1 Grimlock also. But I will have to say that I love all of his incarnations of Grimlock. But I'm going to have to say this, though. This here was an awesome, like I said, was a real awesome incarnation of him. Now, we're going to talk about his Dino mode. One thing I don't like about his Dino mode is pretty much basically that the his little feet here, his little feet right here, tend to fall off a great deal. I don't like that. And they're sort of a little hard to, pretty much, it's a little hard to actually get him to stand in Dino mode. Pretty much. Very hard to get him to stand. But he has a swivel here. He could swivel himself here. And both legs swivel. So he can be like that, which is kind of cool. These, his little hands right here, these also come off too. That's one of another little con that I don't like. But they're still kind of cute though. They're kind of cool. And both of them move back and forth. They're on a ball joint. They can move back and forth. His tail could have been just a little bit longer. You know, and look just a little bit better, but I do enjoy his tail. He does have the Autobot symbol here, an Autobot insignia here, and they also, you could see, like, this is part of his legs here, and these are his arms, as you can see, because look, you can see his fists here. That's like a traditional Grimlock. The G1 was like that too. G1 Grimlock was like that. You can kind of see his head. And this here, we'll talk about that right now. This here is where you put batteries in him. Yes, Grimlock. Me, Grimlock, take batteries. The reason why he takes batteries is because you push this little lever here. And let me push this little lever here. And he lights up. I don't know if you could see it pretty good on camera, but he lights up, which I think is pretty cool. So his whole Autobots insignia, everything completely lights up. And see what I was saying? This just fell off while I was trying to hold him. Let's put this back. And it just simply does that. Now his head can move up and down. His head can move up and down. Not very much, but he can. And this is still pretty cool, though. I still like this. I still like that. That's pretty cool. Now these, you can either, his legs here, you can either have them like that, inside this little thing, or you can actually pull these out like that. You can have them pretty much like this. And you can have him like pretty much like that. And so he can like move, get down, and move it all around, get down. And so like you can move it like, you can have him move it like that and everything. And pretty much basically, that's pretty much basically him in a nutshell in Dino mode. I don't know why they possessed it to do that, but they did. They possessed him to have this little thing like this. He does go into a little tab right there. I'll show you that too when I retransform him. So let's get him into robot mode. First, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this dude right here out, if you can. There we go. Pull that out there. And this is going to go pretty much, basically, you pull that like that. And you pull that like that. That goes like that. That's one leg. And you do the same thing for the other one. And it looks, there you go. And you do the same thing for the other one. And okay, now for the you pretty much basically pop that like that, pop that like that, pop that like that. Pop it out like that. As you can see, this goes down, I believe. That goes down like that. And I think this goes in like that, pretty much. Yeah, I think that goes in like that to cover up that gap. And then these go when they're not doing anything here. That goes like that. And when they're not coming off, like I said, that goes like that. So that goes pretty much like that. And let me see here. Let me see if I can. I always have problems on camera. It's so much easier on at home than I do on camera. I don't know why it is. I don't know why it is, but it is. Maybe I worry about breaking it. To the point where I have no idea what. Okay. Basically, there we go. Well, maybe not. This is supposed to go. I think it's supposed to go like that. I think I'm mistransforming him. Stop. I do apologize if I am. I have absolutely no idea how to transform him. I always worry about breaking these transformers. They're supposed to click in. I wish I had it directions, which I don't. I never have directions for these things. Okay, so that's how you do the arm, and this is what he looks like. So there we go. Now, the one thing I found out just now while I was transforming him, you see his face sculpt. He does not look, let's get a little closer look here. He does not look like your traditional Grimlock. Okay? He looks a little different, which is still pretty cool. I still like him and everything. But here's pretty cool. In the back here, you see he's got his head, right? And I don't know, in the beginning of the review, you push the head down and he's supposed to light, his head lights up. Well, what happens is, I don't know if you could see it on camera, but let me see if you can see it on camera here. His eyes and his chest light up. I am mad, me Grimlock mad. And he's also got light piping too, so you can actually take a flashlight and make him have light piping. I love that when they do that in a figure. Now, his hands, they go 340 here. His arms can go here, and that. He does have elbow swivel on ratchet joints, pretty much. And I'm mistransforming him here. His arm doesn't normally do that. You can make it ratchet like this. And then you can, see? This part here is up on his ratchet joint, too. And so now his legs, he's pretty much got basically a leg can go here, leg can go there, like this, can go up, like that. Both legs can do that. And you get yourself this here, and you got yourself like that. Now, me, Grimlock, love Van Damme. Let me see if he can do a Van Damme, which he cannot do a Van Damme. So, me, Grimlock, can't do Van Damme. So he cannot do a Van Damme, unfortunately. Still pretty cool, though. Now let's see how he looks with his... Let me see if I can get this. Me, Grimlock, love to do the waltz. So like here, so this is his sword. He looks good with a sword. Put a sword down here. And then here's his shield, which can go in his hand, but it won't really fit. I don't think it's gonna fit in his hand. So he can have a shield here. You can have a shield right here at this little peg right here. You can go in here like that. Like that. You can have a shield like that, or he can have, if you wanted, you can have his shield up here, like that. Now, supposedly, from what I was understanding is, Grimlock here, I don't think you can you? No, I don't think you can. I was going to say, I thought I read someplace that he can store his shield, not his shield, but his sword over in his back someplace, but I don't think he can. Yeah, I don't think he can. Well, whatever. So, anyways, that's pretty much basically Grimlock. Like I said, I love the figure. Amazing figure. If I were to rate him, I'd rate him between 1 through 5. I would rate him a 4.5 due to the fact I don't like the head sculpt. Pretty much basically, I don't like the fact that he doesn't carry a gun. I love the joints. I love all the other stuff on him. And, yeah. Oh, and I don't like the fact that these two dudes here come off. But you can just easily pop them on. I'm overlooking that in my score. And, yeah, pretty much. Let's get him transformed again. So we start out by going like this. See if I can transform him. Start out going like this. So much easier at home to transform. There we go. Plus 2, my hands are cold. It's about 45 degrees here in Chicago here. And we put him like this. We put that like that. Oh, another thing too is, what I didn't show you was, he has these, look at the detail on him. He's got really nice detail. Now, that was another reason why I had him be a 4.5. And like I said, I'm a little disappointed too that his tail could have been just a little bit longer. But we got his tail here, and we snapped it in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much basically grab his head here. This is going to go back like that, in there, like that. We are going to take his arms. We're going to put them in here like this. Like that. And they snap in. I don't know if you could see it from here, but they actually snap into place like that. There you go. And see, I don't know, you could see it better. Right there, there's like a little snap right there, and that snaps in. Pretty good. This goes in like that. You can have this like that, and then once you pull this back, you can actually pull this back here like this. It goes like that, and then there goes like that. And see what I'm saying? This pops off a great deal. That's what I don't like about this figure. But he is still amazing for a Grimlock. And I'm gonna you pull this back like that, and his fists go in there like that. And there. Oh, and then you push him down like, there goes that. There you go. Watch this dude come off too. Oh, okay. Me, Grimlock, have arms fall off. You can, yeah, You can put it like that. That's easier to do it that way. And then his tail. It would have been cooler if they made... It would have been cooler if they made the legs snap in, which they kind of don't. But it would have been cooler. But anyways, there's Grimlock in a nutshell. And me Grimlock. Me Grimlock. Yes, me Grimlock. Want to munch metal. Me Grimlock want to munch metal. Coming. And here again, here he is with his sword. His sword. And here he is with his shield. With his shield. And here he is with no arm. There you go. There he is. I hope you enjoyed my review, and yeah. Me Grimlock say, like and subscribe to John Doe 4880 reviews, or me Grimlock will munch metal.